Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jay. Hope you guys doing well. Welcome to the new year. It's 2022. Lots of things coming up, and yeah. So as you guys can see my face. I usually don't show my face. I like to kind of just be behind the camera, just show you guys directly what's going on. But I figure I'd change it up a little bit. So thumbs up for that. And yeah, let's get started with this video. So I've always wanted to talk about Android and iOS just as a phone person or a technology geek, nerd, programmer. I really like just messing with the tech, and iOS and Android have come a long way since their inception. And yeah, there's been quite a bit of changes, especially for Android, I'd say, that are more dramatic than iOS. And I'll get a little bit more into that a little bit later. But let's go and start off with sort of the differences between the two in 2022. So iOS, it's the stable rock. A lot of, there's still bugs, but for the most part, they're pretty stable. The quality of the apps, the stability of the ecosystem, the operating system, the navigation, notifications, all those are pretty consistent. There's still some inconsistencies. For example, with Instagram, if you try to post a story on Instagram, you can't really get out that easily. You have to actually tap the back button at the very top. You can't actually swipe anywhere. It's kind of annoying. So in that sense, I'd say that Android's a little bit more consistent. It's just that iOS, I think that their swipe gestures is pretty easy to get used to, versus Android. It's a lot more consistent in the sense that you can just swipe on the left and right sides to go back, and it's always there no matter what the app is. So I like that in that sense. The app quality, I think iOS is still the king. The apps are more polished. There's a lot more stringent review processes that they have to go through versus Android. And a lot of times apps aren't updated in the Play Store because they don't want to target the new API, for example, or what have you, but you can still install it. So as long as you meet the minimum API, that is. So, and that's another issue just with, in general, with Android. The fragmentation is sort of just a problem in general. So I have the Pixel 6 Pro here and then the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I've kind of just been using both of them for a while now. And yeah, all right, so next up, the overall performance, the camera performance, gaming performance, just overall performance, I think has to go to the iOS system. Just the iPhone is just from the vertical integration with the chip to the firmware, the software, just how everything kind of melds together. Everything's designed in-house with Apple. And so because of that, you get amazing performance. You see it in the Geekbench scores, you see it in Genshin Impact or high performing or high demanding games that the iPhone can support. I mean, it can blow it out of the water basically compared to Android devices. Even though, for example, gaming, it's not that big of a difference, but you see that it doesn't use as much battery power. It's just a lot more efficient in general versus Android devices. The other thing a lot of people care about is camera performance because, we all want to take pictures of stuff or video stuff. So I think that's also a very big difference. For example, iPhone 4K, it's just amazing. Android still has a lot catching up to do, even in 2022 with video. They've definitely made strides, but video is not nearly the same. The HDR that Apple has implemented is just beyond whatever any Android device can put out right now. iOS or Apple in general, is kind of the archetype of the typical creative person. They'll usually go towards an iPhone, like people on TikTok these days, or like influencers these days, or content creators. They'll typically say like, I use my iPhone for B-roll, I use my iPhone to make TikToks, or what have you. There is a reason for it, and the video capabilities, just the ease of use, just all those things kind of make it easy. And sort of the other points I mentioned about the app quality, all those things kind of make it so that it's great for creatives to use. And then that brings us to the ecosystem integration, where you have the ability to get an iPad have a MacBook. If you have those things already, having iMessage AirDrop is really easy. It's already pre-installed. You use it. That's the only app that you have to use. You don't have to think about how to put this stuff together, how to get from A to B in terms of your files. So all that, it's all there for you. So that's why a lot of creatives use it as well, right? Everything kind of just is seamless, so to speak, because they built all the bridges themselves, and you use it like that. But of course, it's proprietary. So versus Android, it's not bad. You can manually do things. You can plug it in your phone into. You can plug your phone into a PC and just transfer files and stuff like that. But it's not as not as seamless, right? And even though Windows has started to kind of embrace Android and have their things set up, but you have to set them up in order to get this all working. That's kind of the biggest drawback, or the biggest roadblock for people to get on this. And then also things like Apple Watch, MagSafe, AirTag, right? All those accessories that Apple just sells you, and people will buy, of course. And so those things they basically keep you in the system, and it's just all integrated. It's really nice, and there really isn't an alternative right now that is comparable, specifically for the Apple Watch, for example. Like, I don't think it is any competition. And maybe this is a hot take, but if you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. I've been using iOS for almost 2 years. I've had the 11 and the 12 now, so over 2 years basically. And before that, I was always on Android. I've always loved how Android works. For example, the kind of the Android Smarts or Google Smarts, the assistant, it's just years better than Siri still. So yeah, the screen text is really awesome. You can just select any text you want within whatever app you're in. If there's text there, and you just copy paste it, it's just really nice for productivity in general. Now playing specifically on the Pixel, but again, it's just like features like these are really, really nice to have, I think. And then also cool camera tricks. I don't think the iPhone has a lot of these, like astrophotography or like time lapses or any of those like little niche features. Another thing, and this is probably a pretty big one, I think, is the always on display. It seems not that like big of a difference, but for me, it's quite a bit big of a difference in terms of just overall functionality and usability. Like, iPhone could definitely put it on there, but they chose to not have it still. I don't know why. Maybe they'll have it later. I don't know. But on all Android phones, they all have this. So it's really nice to have. And you can see your notifications without turning on your phone or anything like that. It's awesome. I mean, it's just really easy to do a lot of productivity things, with the split screen for your apps. So you can have, YouTube and like Instagram up or something. You have just the overall freedom capability to sideload apps. You can use xCloud. You can't even do that on Apple right now. So yeah, you're able to customize your icons, your widgets, just whatever. You can just do just about anything, right? And then if you root the device, you own the device, right? So you can root it if you want. Of course, there's a warranty thing, but you can, for all intents and purposes, you own the device. You can do whatever you want with it, versus on iOS, you kind of buy into the experience. So that's why everything's kind of locked down. Car stuff, right? So Android Auto and CarPlay. Like, I think that Android Auto is still slightly better. It's not that much better than CarPlay. I just really hate that whenever I use CarPlay in my car, it always will play U2, which is super annoying. And I use Spotify as my default app, right? But Android Auto doesn't do that. It doesn't force these sort of arbitrary, these arbitrary things on you to play or to do certain things. So yeah, I don't like that aspect of CarPlay. And also, while CarPlay's like main screen looks cool, it's just not that useful functionality wise. Because for example, like Android Auto, if you go into your maps, you can see your Spotify or music playing at the bottom, and it's just designed a little bit better for usability versus CarPlay, which just looks nice, but I don't really care about that when I'm in the car. Last but not least, notifications. I feel like this is a huge thing. It's just what separated Android and iOS for such a long time. And it's funny, I read stuff online on Reddit and such that like, Android notifications are trash and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, have you seen iOS notifications? They are so much worse. Like Android could be in a way worse position, but I think from the beginning, even till now, Android has always been the better of the two. So of course, it's not saying that it's the best. I feel like there's always room for improvement. That's why they've always been changing it every single year, I think, at this point. But I think right now, it's in a good place. With Android 12, things are a little bit bigger in terms of the tap targets and stuff like that. But in general, just the way notifications are handled, it's just a lot better. You have the little icons at your home screen or any screen to know which application you are getting notifications from. And then, for example, there's certain apps, messaging apps, that you can pin so that it shows the avatar of whoever's messaging you, versus iOS, you have no idea. Like you have to swipe down to figure out who's messaging you and whatnot. So I think in that aspect, it gives you a nice at a glance information, and you can kind of decide what to do and just filter out your information so you can kind of manage your social life or digital life a lot easier there. One thing I didn't really talk about is the privacy. So let's talk about that for a second. I think there is more potential generally to lock down your phone with an Android because you technically own the device, minus the warranty and such. But you're able to just root the device if you want, and you can take control of it. You can control what's coming in and out of the device. iOS, you can't really do that. You can jailbreak it, but they obviously don't want you to do it, and kind of illegal stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, just based on that alone, I think Android has a better potential. But then iOS, I feel like, because for privacy reasons, they don't really sell your data. They keep it for yourself. They do track you. Both systems will track you. It's just that iOS, Apple, they don't have a business case to really sell their data, and they don't want to, because then they're giving information that's from their system to other, people, random people that want to buy it or whatever. So I think in that sense, it's good that they're doing certain things to sort of prevent applications to taking their data and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, whether it's their data, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, I think generally speaking, Apple is pretty good with privacy stance, and their security is a little bit, I think people can argue back and forth. But in terms of privacy, I think just from the baseline, iOS is a little bit better in that sense. Obviously, there's this, versus Android, it's not as good just because Google, they're an ad company. That's what they do. They're going to sell your data. So that's kind of the thing. But if you able to kind of take the time and just, do certain things to protect you in your device, that would be, you can also have a good privacy-centric device there. So yeah, even though there are differences in each platform, we could see that in the last 10 years or so, that each system has been kind of just copying each other and just taking bits and pieces that are good from each other. For example, iOS, they're added widgets. Android, they've switched to gesture navigation. Those are kind of like the big two I can just think off the top of my head. I'm sure there's others, so if you want to list them down below, I'd like to just see them. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of stuff, but yeah, those are the big two. And it's kind of cool to see where things are gonna go towards in the next 5-10 years. And are we gonna get a more like homogenous system where kind of everything's kind of becoming like a balanced thing, where it's like it's not too locked down, but it's also not too Wild West? So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.